Greetings, I'm Les.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together!
Woo!
Alright, so we are back with the Arcana. We are on episode 19 with Julian, and we are plowing ahead. Woo! And, oh no, we have found out that one of the cutscenes, or the paid options that we skipped, involved Peppy, and we are so sad.
And you know what, I really think we should just, stick to a theme of going, even if we dislike it,
We
probably should just buy the theme so everyone can see what's potentially going on. But also, for us, as we have observed before, so while a lot of the paid options don't seem to necessarily give you a lot in terms of story, background, or information, they really do also, though, in some of them, they really actually solidly give you good information as to regards to, or at least tiny bits of information in regards to what's going on in the story.
Or to what the character knows.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm floating. Awareness returns to me all at once. I am floating, submerged in deep water. Somehow it feels almost familiar, as if it's just one step away from a dream I've had before. And, like a dream, if I think I don't need to breathe, I won't. Shafts of light pierce the murky water. Finally, I can see Julian thrashing in the water ahead of me. I catch his flailing arm and pull him towards the surface. Because he doesn't know that, like a dream, he doesn't need to breathe. More environments! Yes!
Ooh, yes!
So this one vine right here on the side, it's like, notice me. Yes, this is where the recorder is.
You will see it.
We break the surface of the water. It looks like a swamp, or like by a bayou kind of thing, with those trees with the really
the mangrove
long,
swamps.
roots.
Yeah,
that one, absolutely.
Massively intense mangrove swamps.
Red is totally the theme for this one, though. Like, wow, it's like I don't know if it is for the whole Arcana, but like here, red. Wow.
Red. I think red is actually his power color.
Oh, there we go.
Or his sad color. I'm not sure which one.
And I brace Julian as he gasps and sputters for air. He grabs my shoulder, frantic with worry.
Nerd, you're right.
I rest my hands on his arms.
Chill.
It's fine. You're out of breath and you were drowning, but I am okay. I am magical.
I am one with the water. It's fine.
I am fine. It's too bad you didn't get a briefing on this is a little like a dream, but it's okay.
It's alright.
We both missed the trial briefing too. It's fine. You're lucky you learned it back in college. How come you got to learn it back in college? I'm okay.
You didn't inhale any water, did you? No any bumps or... Oh, yeah. You're awfully relaxed for someone who nearly drowned. Nerd starts cracking up.
I'm sorry. I'm not being insensitive, but you're just so cute with worry. You don't think I can do anything.
He's really like, I'm so paranoid about everything and I'm a magician. You don't know how to do anything. My dude, my bro, my homie.
I know, you
my
don't
sort
know.
of date friend, I guess.
Know what I can do, but also, what were you wearing when we came in? Did you lose your clothes in the dream? Is this how you see yourself? Is this your projection in the Matrix?
My projection in the Matrix is slob.
Is shirt, still no buttons and no collar evenness, and not tucked, not ironed, not folded, not crisp. Yeah.
Maybe it's just
bad.
a reflection of his mental state. I don't know. More than just like his perception.
Just in self-disorder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Which then means that is this outfit supposed to be the self-disorder outfit?
I didn't nearly drown. I just decided I didn't need to breathe.
What kind of logic is that? Is that a magic thing?
No, it works in reality too. You just forget.
Honestly, considering what we do know about some people where they've decided that, cold just won't affect them, it's actually starting to become a thing. It's interesting.
There is a level of, if you can truly convince yourself, you can do many things that you historically aren't, quote, supposed to be able to do.
Right. Or is that a here thing? Where are we?
Where's here? I get to my feet and take a good look at our surroundings. A thick tangle. It is mangrove trees! Yes!
But with lots of thorns, or is that just a bush?
I
Because
don't
none
know.
of the other ones look like they have thorns.
I think it's multiple things going on.
Alright, cool.
It's alright. There's usually not just one type of plant life.
It's dream logic, though. Everything gets populated by one person's face 900 times, that kind of thing.
You just have an ice cream truck playing and running through the forest, but it's playing a funeral dirge. It's fine.
It's fine.
Alright. The big tangle of mangrove trees presses in all around us, their branches draped with vines.
Okay,
maybe it's a
the
vine.
Ooh.
It's that one little vine. Hello. The water is now only waist deep. It should have been impossible for us to be submerged.
Okay, do you know people can drown in 2 inches of water?
No, but it's impossible for us to swim upward from it. if it's waist deep.
Right.
But we're just going, dream logic. Well, if the water's not deep, it shouldn't be deep. No, it can be both.
It can be both.
It can be both. The sky can also be the ground. It's fine.
Yeah, but I still you can still drown in 2 inches of water. You don't have to be
can.
submerged. What kind of submerging are we talking about? Well, that's submerged. Okay, well,
We're
that's
talking about
fair.
the type where we have to swim over to him, grab him, and swim up with him.
Uh-huh.
That's sort of like Legends of the Deep kind of submerged.
Sure.
It's fine. But maybe that's just how things work here. I understand the other thing, but oh, hang on, I'm lost now.
Now I'm lost. Wait,
Now
I
I'm
know what
lost.
dreams are. No, I don't.
Let's just let him keep thinking that I know, and we will feel safe.
Crap.
This must be the Hanged Man's realm. The ritual work.
They're real things. That's so cool.
Do they all have separate realms?
That would be so cool. Do we get
they
to see
live?
all of them?
That would be amazing, except for how many cards are in the Arcana? It sounds like there's
The
a
actual,
lot in
like,
the deck.
So in the actual Arcana itself, there were 21 major Arcana.
Uh-huh.
So that would
What
be
about-
21 different realms, but all the minor Arcana, that's another question. Are they included?
Or are they actually in the individual's realms? But does that mean ultimately you have to date 21 people to finish this game? Oh my god.
I think we're gonna run out
And
of
we've
people.
started a 6-year journey into the Arcana.
Cry. Ah, who wants to pay us? Really? I mean, of course it worked. And then that safety line I was talking about, did that work?
Can we check and see if the stuff we do know
I
agreed
can't
upon?
yank on it, but
did
thank you,
work?
because he'll just drag us
A
back.
translucent silvery thread dangles from my wrist. I can feel a faint echo of Astra's magic. I dangle it at him. Loo, 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 loo.
Hello.
There it is.
We got it, my homie, don't worry.
If I tug on the loose end, he'll be able to pull us back. Yes, it's right here. Can he pull both of us back with it, or does he assume I'll be touching Julian during that time?
I think he's assuming. Because I think he also mentioned in the last one, going, I'll drag you and you can hold on Julian and bring him back. Something like that.
I gently loop it around Julian's wrist as well and grab his hand and stare at him. Okay, we're recess buddies.
And be like, all right, dude, now don't run away from me, because if you pull on this, we're both going.
We're done, and then it's your plan of trying to break your own neck.
All right? Yeah, I don't see anything, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, well, that's good then. We're okay.
There's no path, so I guess one direction is as good as another. How about...
He closes his eye, then spins in circles until he wobbles dizzily.
You're adorable.
That's a lot of circles. That's
also
cute
really
sometimes.
ridiculously cute. Like, why would you do that?
This is the level of nervousness he gets. Like, it's actually a little... I actually feel it's consistent with his character. When he gets really nervous and out of his depth, he gets very impulsive and a little bit silly. Not like playful, but silly, like, I'll just pick something. Pick something, you know? Anyway, that's really cute. Just when I'm afraid he'll fall, my hand's out going, whoa.
Whoa.
He flings out his arm, pointing, and opens his eye.
That way! Shall we?
I gently prop him up and just put my hand against the small of his back. Go on, here we go. It's all right.
Don't believe in nausea.
We got this.
Just think about red hammers.
Huh? There we go. Perfect. You're not dizzy anymore.
Hey.
What? Was I dizzy? Okay, think about the direction we're walking.
Oh, right. Shall we?
Let's go. We set off into the forest together. I am all for him being the dowsing rod. It's him who needs to find this person and had a connection with them before. Let's do this.
Yep.
Wading through water and ducking under vines. It's impossible to keep any coherent sense of direction here, but we walk on regardless.
Hey, nerd. You see that, right? What is that?
Some 20 feet in front of us, I can see something flickering. Julian gapes in amazement when we get a clear look. A spherical distortion hangs in midair. Inside it is a tea set, frozen mid-fall. Streams of spilling tea, wisps of steam, and tumbling cups, saucers, and sugar cubes hang motionless.
And suddenly we are Alice in Wonderland.
I was gonna say, it's
slowly
okay.
tumbling down the rabbit hole.
It's access to the Hatter's realm. We're fine. That's not an Arcana. That's just, that's another thing.
That's another thing. Don't worry about it. Ignore that.
As if they were simply suspended in time.
What is this? How's it doing that?
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this kind of stuff, just to be honest, so, it's okay. His eye bright with curiosity, he reaches out to touch the bubble. A frisson of alarm shoots down my spine. Instinctively, I catch his wrist.
Nerd?
Don't touch it. We don't know what might happen.
I'm curious. I poke.
It's not what we're here for. It's a button! Let me push it!
No! Well, you're completely right, of course. First rule of adventuring, don't touch anything until you're sure it won't eat you.
That's always good.
Honestly, though, considering your character, that's also hilariously in line for you, too. Very impulsive, still reaches out very abruptly. He's also very physical.
But also, he apparently takes schooling well. He's done, gone to university and become a doctor. So he does sit down and focus and learn rules and structure. So did someone train him about adventuring? He's like, I know this now. Because he seems impulsive when he doesn't know, but not impulsive when he does know. On the other hand, he could just be
depending on if somebody else is involved. That actually has been part of his process of going, if somebody else that I care about is involved, I kind of lose my crap.
Because I also don't know what the rules are involving them, because I don't know how it'll affect them. I have characters like that. Yeah. It's really fine. He could just be quoting a platitude. As we walk, we pass more bubbles, all playing host to objects frozen in time.
Cool.
Let's not freeze you in time, shall we?
Yeah, honey.
A lightning bolt mid-strike, the forked branching of electricity as thin and delicate as fern folds. Oh, it's like one of those little balls that, they would have in, like, shops and things, and you touch it and all the electricity sticks to your hand.
Yeah.
And then you can move around and play with it. It's like, they're like a little glass sphere, if you haven't seen one before. They're kind of the era of, like, a lava lamp.
Oh,
they're
God,
kind
they
of
were
cool.
so much fun, though.
Yeah, and it's just the same way, like, what you do is you just touch them, and all the electricity, instead of spidering out everywhere, goes to your finger. But don't touch these ones, because that. A writing desk, its surface clear but for a stack of blank papers and a quill balanced on an inkpot. An hourglass, sand caught pouring from a crack in its lower bulb. Not a single grain moves in the bubble. Like, you have a filmographer somewhere going, these would be so useful to be able to film, because, it's so hard to capture things at the actual rate of motion in high definition with what's really going on.
God, cameras have advanced so much in a desperate attempt to catch stuff like that, it's true.
And find out what's actually going on when a dog shakes its head when it's trying to get water off its face, or when, you pour milk into a bowl of cereal. Screw food advertising. They're actually also trying to figure out what happens, too.
Right?
Anyway.
I wonder what all these things mean, and who put them there. Nerd, look!
He points past me at a ribbon of clear water that cuts through the murky water. It winds under an arch of mangrove roots and into a darker part of the forest. Oh, look! A path! Ha-ha! I can't see more than 20 feet down it. It's the closest thing to a path I've seen since we arrived!
Yes! Good!
Good job. We got it.
Alright. If I've learned anything, it's that paths like these are always shortcuts.
That's good, because I don't really want to just, fold my hands in front of my face, megaphone style, and be like, hanged man!
Hey, you man!
Pretty much.
What do you say, nerd? How about an adventure? It might be a little dangerous, but,
We're already doing it, so... Sure, I like a little danger, let's do it. I don't know why that's any more dangerous than the rest of this, though, just really.
Right? I'm also like, we are in this, it's like we need to find answers, but this is the only clear thing we have. That's why I'm confused about that being a premium option. I'm like, okay, so it wasn't necessary. But for me, I'm going, but we don't know anything about really this place as far as I can tell. Also, why would if Aster already knows about realms, why wouldn't he tell us a little bit, maybe of being like, hey, so you've done a little bit of this, here's a little tiny primer. Or, hey, have you ever been to the Hangman's Realm before, Astra?
Right.
Could you tell us something
a little bit about
this?
it? Or generally a good way about navigating in realms. Sort of going, it's like feeling, your way magically, or it's like following your intuition, or you're looking for signals or signs of some kind.
What about the fact of also how not to offend the person who's the lord over that
Right?
realm?
How do you address a cat?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious about this bit of him going, let's get rowdy, let's be adventurous, let's be playful. I'm going, we don't know that side of you very well at all. Obviously, he's been super stressed, but that is something we're just starting to meet, and him going, yes, I love that. And I'm going, who is that piece of you?
Yeah, no, we haven't really been exposed to it much.
Well, honestly, if I was going for this being like a parallel to our other world or any kind of information we need to know, the water is polluted with plague-related stuff back in our world.
Right.
So you've got this murky water paralleled with the clear water. So if you're doing like visual storytelling, I didn't expect that to be a paid option at all, because that sounds like the key.
Right?
Like, again, though, I've only heard that the paid options don't matter, and it kind of seems like they don't matter. But in other games, when you're, doing dating stuff, the paid options really matter.
Yeah, we've definitely mentioned this, I think, in one or two episodes before.
I don't know if we can confirm or deny this without digging into the fandom, which we're trying not to do because we don't want to know anything.
Because it's really important, actually, at least for us to go, hey, what we wanted to do was kind of go through this and see what kind of story it is and follow along and see if we could understand character and plot and purpose and see if we could figure out the mystery, as it were.
And to explore it organically without having anyone go, well, you need to know, well, if you know this thing, it does something.
Right?
And generally everyone's been super nice, so that's been great. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And for everyone who's contributed very thoughtfully, I'm pointing a finger at you, and been careful to avoid spoilers, we really appreciate that too. Oh, maybe the premium thing is him storytelling before we go to the water.
Oh, that would be great. It's the jokey, cheeky music.
It's the dun, 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 dun. It's fine. It's okay, just be a little bit theatrical. He's not hurrying through this. Is that why he's always talking about pirates and swashbuckling in Heartseeker? Because I still swear that thing's full of spoiler.
Maybe he's also just, he wants to, far as I can tell, this seems to be one of those of going, what I've really always wanted is to basically sort of just be free, but I'm like, free from what? Free from your own guilt? What if you are free from your own guilt? Then what?
Did you have guilt when you were a child and you still liked adventure? What do you want? Did you feel trapped?
Well, that's the thing I'm going
in the salt mines?
In the salt mines, God. It's a circle. I mean, you don't just find staircases going up nowhere in the middle of nothing with no supports and no beams and no anchors. It's just stairs.
It's probably like that spiral staircase built with no rails and no, supports or anything, the miracle staircase.
God, those are wild.
With one piece of wood running the base of it from one tree that was 1,000 feet tall.
Right, but honestly, past the point, you'd also just be like, you know what, we've seen, bottles of time, basically. Little orbs of, moments. It shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too weird.
It shouldn't be too weird. It's okay, I'm also just it's the creepypasta staircase. Maybe we shouldn't go up.
Right?
They say, the forest rangers say you're supposed to avoid that one.
Right.
With his boot, I hope. Pep, pep. Do you think, maybe, all of those things in the bubbles might be related to points in your life in some obscure way?
I actually was gonna wonder about that since we're here for him.
That this all could be related to him. Your sister says you exaggerate, just so you know.
Oh, no, I've got to go talk to Pasha. She shouldn't be telling you lies like that, my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just go ask Mazelinka if you exaggerate.
Right, you do that. I'll be in the back, walking slowly away. What if it's the fact that he's getting emotionally involved, and so the place is also, though, not only does it have things from his life, but is also manifesting things that he's remembering or recalling.
That he's, and that he's connected to. Something that will drive him into a more open or connected state so that the hanged man, assumably, can access him?
Maybe.
Or they can access each other? Who knows?
Right.
And then they dated each other, and I went, well, I'm glad they're both happy. And I went home and tried to flirt with the pumpkin's bread seller.
Yeah, pumpkin bread seller. Hello.
Hello.
You have returned! Just terminates abruptly.
Oh, it just was a single, it didn't keep going at all. My spleen.
My butt.
My shoulder. Except for the fact that my knee is in my face, we're okay.
It's fine. And it's all legs again.
Yeah, that's right.
Ow.
Ow. Lucky it didn't interpret you as a falling object and catch you in a bubble, actually.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because that was where my brain went.
Ooh.
Oh God. It's a boob and butt pose. Oh my God. Okay, so it's the Hawkeye initiative right there. There we go.
Good job, Julian. You're an active practitioner of the Hawkeye initiative, and also, ow.
Wow, they're
spiky.
Ow,
they're spiky.
Okay, thorns, my dear. Thorns?
Ow.
Wow.
No, the pain is real. Also, he finally has boots. I'm so glad to actually be able to see the rest of my damn costume.
Right?
But
he does have boots.
Ow! You did it on purpose?
I'm like, I I appreciate that's supposed to be sort of a cheeky drawing to go with a cheeky behavior, but I'm also like, those are thorns. Those are thorns. Oh, dear.
I love being damsels in distress. It's the only thing I get that basically helps me relax. Whatever will I do?
Julian, I hate to tell you this, but I do not carry a knife in my bag.
So you're basically stuck now.
You're kind of... We're gonna have to do this like a ball of yarn with thorns.
Good.
Oh, dear. Because that's totally what we're looking at here. His neck. That's what I was looking at.
That's exactly what I was looking at.
That is what the framing of the picture draws your attention to right away. Center of the portrait.
To his neck, because like this.
Whoa.
Aren't I the sexiest? My neck, my chin tucked in like this.
It's fine. If you like biting, why don't you also nibble?
No kidding.
What I want to say is, Julian, the thorns. Are you just deciding they won't stab you?
Right?
Like, so we've decided, like, if I was gonna be playful, if I was nerd and I was gonna be playful, I literally would be, so you can't decide to breathe underwater, but you're gonna decide the thorns don't stab you, and then I would lean in.
And then
I
you'd kiss
really
him, yeah.
would. I would just, that's fine.
Oh my god! You're gonna do it! You're gonna share my cake with me! Thank God!
He's very silly and playful. Oh my gosh. Once he's not as terrified of everything, which is really funny, he is very playful. Like in the beginning of how dark and depressed he is, like it's kind of wild, the shift. And forgets to make the thorns not stab him. Ow! I laugh
and then
into his mouth.
No, and you just sit there and you go, lean closer and be like, so I don't have a knife.
I know, right?
And he goes, and his little eyes slowly starts widening as he really goes,
oh no. Yeah, like it really would be like I would start laughing while we were kissing and like, you break apart giggling and then be like, you gotta know, I don't have a knife. That would be me at this point also going, you're very cute, but we are here for a very serious reason. Like, that would be it.
And also, again, do you really want to bang in the hanged man's realm?
The banged man's realm?
Honestly, maybe that's what he is. He's the banged man's realm. He is tied to Julian, apparently, sort of. I'm gonna go, yes, flirting hardcore, and then be like, I'm gonna die because you're soft with me.
I know, he really is. He's like, yes, be rough with me. And every time we're like, I would gently put 3 fingers against the side of your jaw. He's like, death by softness. Ooh.
Which is actually really, like, honestly, that's very telling of basically going, I'm used to being aggressive. Aggressive is the way to get what you want, or whatever else. Or, like, that even might be a thing of going, this is what it means to be a man for him.
Yeah, it's also a level of prowess. I can handle it.
Hey! And then you just be like, boink, and then it's like, oh, and you just gave me what I actually enjoy.
Very gently, like chin hands at him. You just put your palms around his, jaw and chin.
And he just kind of goes,
and he just turns into a very
slowly falls over.
Soft squish. Yeah, it's all right. It is actually a hammock now. It's fine. If this was like regular dream logic, that would be shifting into some other environment for sure. See, it is posturing. He's like, be rough with me, I would posture. And you're like, that's not really you. It's fine. If you had buttons, I'd button your shirt.
It's okay.
Put you back together gently. I'd be the type who'd tie your tie.
You do also, though, sound like somebody who's experienced a lot of stress and trauma. So the thing is at least as far as I've ever noticed, I don't really know, and this is not to say that this is bad or anything, but I've noticed most people who seem to basically want things like this is to go, you're still experiencing some distress in some way.
People who want a lot of roughness are, in a lot of cases, trying to get a stronger emotional experience out, and physical experience, to distance themselves really hard and suddenly from what else it is they're feeling.
Right.
In the same way that if your back is really tight and you can turn and pop it, it might feel really good, that sudden instant release of pressure. But if you stretch it over time, it's often way more relieving in the long run and creates a better experience for your spine.
Right.
I say often. All right.
Come on, dang it. Let's get up, Mr. Spider.
Or how time moves in this realm. Let me say something mysterious that magicians should say.
Okay, now I got a stupid question because this is May. So, our bodies are still manifested in another place.
No.
So does he have a boner in another realm? It's like everyone's just watching and suddenly Julian starts going red. And then they're all like...
And there's a slight shifting of breathing and, physical presentation.
And Ezra's like, I hate you sometimes.
Like, sigh.
Okay,
Sounds like him. Based on how I know him. Yeah, that's
fine.
him. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, you're just stuck.
Yes,
You're
that's
like,
great.
Alas,
Okay.
I don't have a knife.
So since it had art in it, I'm assuming this whole thing is a premium option, and then after you get stuck on the island, you go down the clean river. That's what I'm thinking. That's kind of adorable. Okay. What does it do? If you buy the premium option, you accidentally get lost for a minute. You're silly, and then you get to work.
Okay.
Fair. Reasonable. Okay.
Was that necessary?
I just tell them, you won't like this. No.
Just go, it's okay, let go. Huh?
It's fine. Wild. You know what? That is surprisingly a parallel to the Otherworld game we were playing just recently, where we had to burn the seaweed to make it hold still so we could collect it for the fish.
Well,
because it was all wiggly and movie, and we used the torch to make it hold still.
I don't remember
make it
that,
go
but I guess
limp.
I'll believe you, because I don't remember that at all. I just remember we had a knife and we just went and cut the seaweed off.
We had to burn it first.
Oh! I'm thinking about a different part of the game. Yes. No, I know what you're talking about now.
It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we weren't collecting colored seaweed. It was the stuff to feed the lake monster, the kelpie.
Yeah,
It was to
that
feed
one.
the kelpie. Yeah,
Because that one was actually really non-cooperative.
it was. Anyway, so that was but it feels just like this, except for we had a torch instead of magic. Anyway,
I wonder if there's
so
some
that
sort
throwback.
of like fairy tale reference there, or basically like cultural reference.
Right, like if it's it's a theme,
right?
You know, and going this is actually a standard of some kind, or like the whole thing in the
either that or
in like Harry
everybody's
Potter, with the grasping vine sort of thing, and you use heat and light.
I was going to say either that or everybody's really preoccupied with basically that with Harry Potter. Considering
I don't know the dates of all this, but also like where did she get it from? Because J.K. Rowling borrowed from a lot of things. Anyway, back to this. But thank you for joining us in that segue. If you want to check out our other stuff, please do. All right. Splash. Well, you see, if you didn't know you're a bit theatrical, and sometimes you really get into it.
And sometimes also you get really winding. Like you have to go roundabout.
Roundabout.
Why are
I
you so
feel
worried?
like maybe you are the type. It's like I'd rather have fun, but it's bit you in the butt so many times that you're not sure about it anymore.
Right?
Because there's a personality type that's basically like I'd rather have fun, and some of them more reckless than the others, where it is really an experience of going, I'd rather not do things that hurt me, and one that's more cautious, going, so I'm going to choose to have fun, even if the situation's not ideal.
Right.
I'm not just going to, dig into the uncomfortable stuff or stay where it doesn't, serve me. And other ones are like, fun at all costs, no matter what, self-destruction, go, as long as it's fun right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Anyway.
no, that is actually a really good question.
Bends
over
water.
at the waist, has to reach down.
Yeah, he gently bends his knees and links his arm up under my shoulder.
And then he starts walking around in a little bit of an awkward jump.
Sort of, yeah, an awkward jump because his knees are all bent. In case you didn't know, the writers describing our character as being looked down at by everyone, we have just decided progressively that they are short.
They're very short.
Distinctively
clearly.
short. And so that's been one of the choices we've made, going, we finally have a height comparison to Julian, and we're just like, well, we are short.
Short!
We would die if we tried to date Muriel.
Don't worry, we are gonna die, I'm sure, when we get to it.
Told you! Creepypasta people were right. Don't fool around on the staircase.
Yeah, pretty much.
The further into the forest we go, the darker and heavier the atmosphere seems. A thick fog creeps between the roots and branches, choking the air.
Why is this happening? Should this be happening?
I don't know, but change is probably a good sign. Usually it means progress.
Either that or it means we've just really greatly irritated somebody who went, you've ruined my display.
You irritated my vines. Excuse you. Something catches my eye in the distance. I am suspecting that the hanged man might be lonely. This place is desolate, unless we're just heading towards a town of some type. I think I can see the silhouette of a person. They're surrounded in fog, but... Oh, wow!
Hey, whoa!
Shibari? Really?
Huh.
That's fascinating. I can make out a raven's head. If you...
Which, honestly, for a lot of people... So, there's actually been... You know anything about the shibari community? There's actually 2 really strong strains of thought. The original shibari is actually, it's literally for art.
In case you don't know what shibari is, we're talking about the ropes.
We are talking about the ropes.
And how they're tied. Go ahead.
So the thing is there are actually 2 very strong strains of thought. One of them is what is considered to be the older one, which is that shibari is a traditional, basically, art. It's not a sexual pastime.
And the other one
then there's the other one of going, no, we do this, though, for sexual pleasure. This is more about sex. So I'm torn about this.
It looks very
It looks
artistic.
really pretty. But the thing is, the shibari is really pretty.
I know, but also it just looks very artistic. But I'm also just like, he's wearing that sort of classic, this is Egyptian wrap kind of thing. I'm like, are you trying to make, a Horus reference?
Right? Or...
Because that's just artistically the way his wrap is on, the loinclout, if you will. It very throws back to the way people style Egyptian lower garb.
Right.
And not that's necessarily historically accurate at all. The one little feather choice is kind of hilarious.
Uh-huh.
I can make out a raven's head. He doesn't look like he's shrouded in fog at all, actually. He looks crisp.
He's a very sharp and... Nerd, is that him? I think that's him.
Julian rushes towards the figure and stumbles in his haste, nearly falling onto his face.
Dude, you make so many hasty decisions and you break your butt all the time. All of these times I get my foot caught.
He tugs and then reaches down to try and dislodge whatever it is.
What in the... Nerd, be careful, something's wrong.
Well, we might have approached more cautiously.
You probably also insulted him, but you don't know.
I try to move towards him, but jolt to a halt. I hadn't realized I was starting to sink. I can feel the ground underfoot shifting, starting to suck me under. With a shout of alarm, Julian starts struggling in earnest, trying to reach me. Is there a tree nearby? Can I grab onto the roots? Because that's the first thing I'd want to do. All around us, the trees come alive. Leaves rustling and wood groans, branches stretching towards us. Yeah, but unless they also go down into the muck. We don't go into the muck, but it's fine. With great effort, he manages to wrench his hand free and almost overbalances from the force. He catches himself on a tree root, but leaves behind a bloody handprint as he struggles upright.
So it
is the thorns everywhere.
Yeah, finally they're noticing. I'm like, why is it now?
They all have thorns.
Sorry.
So have they just superseded our thought process, or did we really piss them all off by, heating them out of the way? What if we'd have untangled them gently instead?
I mean, we didn't have any other choice. The game made the choice for us. I wouldn't have called magic at all. That wasn't even the thought that I was thinking of. I was just thinking of very gently pulling them off.
I mean,
because if they were all retracting, they could have actually dug and torn him apart. You know,
true.
In their haste to retreat
through him. Yeah. If we were really thinking just to retract, the mark on his throat flares, but his scraped hand isn't healing. Well, he's in the wrong realm.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's what I say. I am being sucked down into the muck, and we've found the hangman, and I say your mark isn't working?
Because it won't heal him.
No, but why?
So maybe we're trying to warn him, going, stop trying to hurt yourself, or thinking that you can just get out of it. You're not going to heal.
It seems like a wild thing to notice in a sudden rush of everything coming alive.
Especially where we're over here and he's over there and slapping on there, and how do you see the tree root? I know, it's not making sense to me
and
either.
He just
but this
pulls his hand away, and we watch it long enough with everything moving around us and starting to pull us down. We freeze and watch his hand long enough to determine it's hurt and it's not healing.
I have no excuses for the writing. This is just what I'm vaguely trying.
That feels weird to me.
It does.
Julian, your mark isn't working.
I don't care. Hang on there. I'll save you.
Okay, but also, you're supposed to talk to the hangman. That's why we're here.
Like, seriously.
Calm down and think. Calm down and think. We're Hermione. Stop moving.
Exactly. I'm like, why are we doing the devil's snare all over again?
I don't know.
Come on.
My words seem to cut through his panic. He hesitates mid-flail, looking around wildly. I would tend to say you have to choose calm down and think if the game is actually trying to teach you anything. Because what we've pointed out over and over again is that he doesn't think when he's not calm. He's super impulsive and makes weird choices.
Shock.
Like, I actually had time to think on that one. A couple of the other time choices, because I panic, I've just pepped them and been like, this one, ah! Which I think is the point that you're supposed to panic. I just assume that's what timers are for. But that one, I was like, I actually was able to read it fast enough to make sense of it, where I feel like that is what we should be choosing.
Yeah.
Anyway, devil's snare. So, my words seem to cut through. He hesitates mid-flail, looking wildly around.
Think. The more I struggle, the more I get dragged in, which means...
Just relax!
I
don't think he's relaxing.
He's not good at relaxing.
The ground shifts under my feet, and I lose my balance.
Nerd!
The last thing I see is him lunging towards me before I'm dragged underwater. in a panic. Why do I panic? I
we're
just
gonna
told
leave
him to relax. What? That doesn't make any sense.
No! Wait, what?
Okay, why would we not...
accessing our level of drama
Why-
then going on here, because I don't understand this.
Oh, so you were supposed to fight against it in panic?
Huh? No.
Or what if you choose nothing, I guess? That feels really weird. I mean, and games can do that. Like, you can be punished for making the wrong choice very quickly, but that's...
Assuming that's even the wrong choice. I don't even know what the right choice is, though.
I don't either. I don't even know what the choices really do. In previous dating games, the choices have only been, you get to date them, you don't get to date them.
Yeah, and now we're automatically dating them. So it seems like you've literally just jumped the gun.
Got there already.
Yeah, and it's like, what are we doing?
But why?
All right, keep going.
Why did I panic? In a panic, I grab hold of the silvery cord around my wrist and pull. I feel an answering tug, and everything goes dark. Does it just pull both of you back automatically? It does.
Yeah.
You're both tied to it. When I open my eyes, I'm back in the garden. Julian is looking around wildly, still getting his bearings.
You didn't do crap.
Morning light plays in the fountain spray. We must have spent hours in the Hanged Man's realm.
You're awake. Thank goodness. I felt you pull the safety line. What happened? We saw the Hanged Man, or at least I think it was him, but...
We got trapped in a bog. We couldn't reach him. Is there anything you can do?
Oh, the Arcana, the Hanged Man is one of the hardest for me to reach.
We didn't try to talk to him, or call out to him, or get his attention in any way.
We didn't even try to be polite and go, thank you for allowing us into your realm. Hello. Like, you just stop where you are, and basically, because I'm like, I think they would be aware, like, they usually like playing characters like that anyway, that you would have a being who's that greater who goes, I know you're here. And if you're not going to frickin' talk to me, I'm going to punish you, because I already know you're here. You walked into my house.
Yes, and now you're creeping around looking for me before you even go, hello, is anybody home?
It's kind of rude.
It is. Like, if somebody just walks into my house, it's really good to be like, I knocked first and I hollered. Anyway, that feels uncomfortable to me. I'm grumpy.
It's fine.
I am grumpy. All right.
We had a few months. I could probably help Ilya create a personalized way in, but... we don't have that long.
The plague is coming now. And
also, he's gonna die.
Well, I know. But on the other hand, the Hanged Man isn't necessarily going to stop him from being sentenced to death either. It's really just about the plague, as far as I understood the story. This activity is about the plague, not about him dying or not.
I guess now that's what it's become. Like, originally it was like, here's Julian, we might be able to do this
Well,
thing.
my plan is I'll die and I'll heal, and going, okay, yeah, but then how was this going to help you not get killed? I then can say, hey, guess what? Nadia, you don't have to use your system of justice because I can pay for my freedom despite the court with a cure for the plague that's not here yet.
It's no pressure or anything, but I can do that.
Don't worry, it's not privilege that I can buy my way out of a sentence.
Sigh.
So I don't know what the point of this was anyways in reference to him dying. I don't know how this would have stopped him being sentenced.
Yeah, I know, that's why I was kind of like, wait, now we're going to this. Look, your way failed, so let's do things my way. I guess that's now the only way.
The air feels heavy. The reality of the situation is sinking in. Is that it? Is it really like your entire game leads up to left or right
I mean,
there,
we've still got several
and you'll never
chapters
die?
left. Don't panic. We're fine.
I was just going to be like, none of your choices matter. It is only that choice. And then he either lives or dies.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to have a small crisis here. We're fine.
It's alright. I'm afraid I have to go for now. I have some preparations to make. You should get ready too.
Ready for how? Asra, thank you for trying. I'm sorry that we're so bad at communicating so that you couldn't teach me anything that I could have done that might have made that better.
Of course, I just wish it had worked.
Well, if I'd been more experienced, maybe.
Hey, and Ilya, I hope you're right about this.
Yeah? For a moment, I think he'll say something else. Then he shakes his head and goes back to the palace. We sit in silence for a few long moments. To be so close and yet so far, it is frustrating. All right, finally, I'm
or are we
emotionally
gonna do
invested.
something?
I'm frustrated.
Nah, it's fine.
My emotional investment is frustration.
I think we were already having that beforehand.
But
I'm like
differently, I suppose.
All right, that's fair. Well,
we both freeze as someone skids around the corner.
Ilya, we are leaving.
She brandishes a set of lockpicks.
Pasha, where did you get those?
How do you know how to use those?
I mean, wait on, hang on. I have to do this. Just let me I don't care if you're guilty or not, Elia. You're my brother. I'm not gonna let you die.
Now we're two scandals and a lie.
Aye, Mazalinka's outside with the getaway carriage. We've got you passage out of town. Wait, and I've got a disguise for you. Now hold still while I unlock these. Well, why aren't you chained up? It's probably Nadia.
Portia freezes. Slowly, reluctantly, she turns around to face. Yes!
Aha!
You were there! Nadia, standing at the top of the stairs. She's heard everything.
My lady,
Nadia looks at Portia and the lockpicks in her hands. Then her gaze sweeps over me and Julian. Good morning, Portia. The silence stretches agonizingly.
Well, yeah. I guess this is it. I guess I should tell you everything.
I already know. As I told Nerd, there is no cause for alarm. A smile touches the corners of her mouth. I know how complicated family can be. I'm not upset.
Milady, thank you so much, milady. So sorry. I didn't mean to keep it a secret.
Aww.
Poor thing.
Next to me, Julian sags in relief. I can feel the huge weight lifting from everyone's shoulders. Because we finally talked to each other? Okay, so for 9 chapters we've been saying, people should talk to each other. No! And then we even made the joke, but if we talk to each other, it would make the story go too quickly. Well, you see. Damn. Especially Portia's. Doctor, have you not informed Portia of your plan?
Well,
She wasn't around. Julian explains everything to Portia. His mark, his vision of the hanged man, his cure. At the end, Portia plants her hands on her hips. She looks deeply unimpressed.
I would be too.
On the other hand, if he's to be executed by hanging and the hanged man has come to him, he could literally be like, go hang yourself. I will embody and that experience and you'll be fine.
Pretty
That
much.
is the one thing I can do. Period.
You
It's
might
my
also be
special
just
skill
being
set.
rude as shit to him, being like, I've been here the whole time. And really?
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 You haven't even offered me tea. You know what the tea set was?
You
It was me.
unscrupulous wench!
You know what the tea set was? It was really me going, you know what you have? No sense of hospitality. Hanged man going, you bitch. This is a very gentle fuck you.
The softest of fuck you.
At the end, Portia plants her hands on her hips, unimpressed.
Are you serious? Your plan involves a chance that you'll survive being hanged.
Yep.
There must be another way.
Well, we just tried that, you know. I gesture at the spell circle etched at our feet.
Yeah.
Sort of helplessly. We tried, but we're inexperienced. And we failed. I should have been practicing more, but you see, the actual master that I chose for myself for magic, or that I ended up with somehow, he's really terrible at teaching, so you know.
Either that or I'm really bad at learning. There's always that option.
Between the two of us, we really don't get anything done.
Maybe it was just the fact that there was too much tension. But I don't know what tension is anymore since I only have Julian in my mind.
He teaches like John Constantine. You just have to follow in his wake and watch.
And then you sort of wonder what the hell happened because everything's gone.
Because it's all dead and you're just stuck there forging silver bullets. It's fine.
It's fine.
The silence feels oppressive. Julian looks unusually serious, a faraway look in his eyes. It's time.
Nerd, Basha, I understand if you don't want to be there.
Okay, so for me, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, the storytellers are super theatric. If he survives this and we get like 6 more chapters and it's some other story, another thing to deal with, I'm going to be like, that is so wild and fun.
That is so
On the other hand, so
ridiculously
uncomfortable. That's very edgy. That's super extra. Here's what we're going to do. The person you're going to date, you're going to literally kill them, but not kill them. And they're going to survive the justice system.
This is honestly though where...
Like, damn, pulling the heartstrings, aren't we?
Right? Well, honestly though, this is why I was actually guessing that who you're supposed to start with is you're supposed to start with Asra. Then you're supposed to do Nadia, and then you're supposed to do Julian?
I don't know. That's a Scandal's theory, but I'm really like, they say you can go in any order at all. What if you started with Lucio? Would it ruin everything? Like, I don't know.
Let's start
there's no
with somebody
mystery.
so far off on left field. Actually, let's go to Muriel.
Well, also like going, the mystery is, who murdered him. But if you start with him being alive and in your face and flirting with you, that's not the mystery.
Yeah,
So,
I have no idea.
Maybe the mystery is not who murdered him. That's just Julian's personal mystery. Maybe they each have their own separate mystery. That would be wild.
It would be very interesting. It sounds very
stories, but they each have a different mystery to solve.
But it also sounds very convoluted, and past the point you also have to realize you're the one character going through them and making them different. Because otherwise they don't have anybody they'd be dating.
It's true.
Right? Because you don't have simultaneously someone dating you, someone dating Portia, someone dating Nadia, someone dating Ashley.
Driving that, but you can assume they make these decisions without that person.
We'll have to see, because I actually don't think that's going to be what happens.
But I'm now curious. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
I
As if I'd lead you to face all that alone. I'm gonna go find Mazzalinka and tell her the news.
I'm not staying behind either.
I thought they were actually gonna make us choose.
I know, right?
I was gonna be like, ooh!
Do you want to go to the hanging or not?
Would you like to go watch somebody potentially get their necks snapped? And actually, most of the time, their necks don't snap, so what most people tend to die of is, unfortunately, in terms of hanging, is suffocation. Yep.
Maybe being in the hangman's realm will make him just decide he doesn't need to breathe until the rope is released. What about that? That'd be great. I intend to see this plan through, for better or worse. I was going to be really grumpy if they made us choose. Stay and watch him get hanged or leave. And I'm going, oh my god, I don't know. 2 guards come out from the palace to meet us. One of them is carrying Julian's dark coat.
In between his hands, stretched far apart, because that damn thing is like this entire...
No. It's a little
It's
circle.
a washboard
He's
experience.
twisted it and collapsed it like windshield
right, because we talked about he would have to.
Like windscreen, like sun visors for the car. So if you don't know, they look like soft frisbees that stop the sun from going in your car window. And when you twist them, they collapse into a really small circle because they're stiff when they're open.
Right.
So it's just that. They just twisted his cape by the corners and collapsed it down. Poof! They hold it in a little circle. It's fine.
For you.
For you. And then he opens it. It hits everyone in the face. Pop! Yes. All right. After he shrugs into it, it's actually been washed. The rest of him, being as filthy as it is, doesn't match at all.
We all kind of cry quietly in the corner.
Going, we washed this for you, and oh. Do you want to maybe take a dip in the fountain real quick?
Here, hang on.
Quick. You know what? We just shove him in the fountain impulsively. You watch him about to put on his cloak. Okay, what kind of choices do you care about? Rewrite this, but make all the choices with a completely different, bent on things. You're really worried about his hygiene and him dying, or having to do his final thing, unclean. You just throw him into the fountain and, tackle him to get him clean for just a minute so he can, die and or survive with dignity.
Oh, God, yes.
He shrugs into it. They approach him with chains, only to stop when Nadia waves them off. There's no need for those. The doctor is cooperating. Are you ready?
As ready as I ever be, Countess.
Yeah, well, we hope. Wait, we're going to do this in the square?
Oh.
You're going to parade everyone down to the square, have them watch the hanging, then parade them all back up to the castle for the masquerade?
Right.
I also who are these 3 people? No other scene has any people in it at all.
I am fascinated.
This is amazing. I'm I need to know who they are. It's important to me. Also, I love the wings in the gold cast. Kind of think of your statue, but we plated your wings.
Right?
Yeah, but that looks like edgy, dystopian Muriel. Over on the fountain.
Either that or somewhere is Julian's reversed self.
Right.
That's
him
his
with the black
dystopian
wig.
self. Right. I love that.
That's him with the black wig. It's fine. Town square's packed with people. 3 of them. Some of them seem positively celebratory. Good. Why doesn't this water have any discoloration in it if the water that actually literally runs through the middle of the city is horrific?
And the water that's actually coming out of the buildings, too. You have to also consider that.
Shouldn't that be
are we also,
thing?
the thing that still bothers me about that is you really would be 3 years of history, people talking about don't drink the red water. Never drink the red water. So everybody basically being so you always get water either out of town or do something else. Or I guess honestly though you would get really desperate though too, because I mean really having free accessible water. Not that people would necessarily drink water, but using it in your brews or whatever else. It's damn.
Now is this a virus? Because if it is, you could boil it off. Is it a bacteria? Well, you can't necessarily boil off a virus, but you could boil off a bacteria.
Right.
What is it that's causing the red plague?
Right?
Anyway, but I'm just like, this looks so clean. But also, it could make sense that her entire kingdom is just the people in the castle and, like, Astra and myself and a couple people in the market and the 3 people here. Because, like, it sounds like a ridiculous amount of your population died off 3 years ago. And unless you've had a massive influx of people who want to live here, your town is still wrecked. Like, this should be a dystopian, I've argued at one point, going, if we've had that much drop in population recently, you should be in a massive economic, like, crash.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact of shutting down the Colosseum and, you know, losing one of your rulers, etc., etc. Like, damn. The town square is packed with people. Some of them seem positively celebratory. Woo! Death! Others are clutching handkerchiefs or each other, distress written clearly on their faces. It's like a yin-yang.
I'm also
There's a clear division between we want him to live, we want him to die.
Part of me is also just sitting here going, God damn it, Julian, you freaking martyr. Like, seriously, the level of also going, it doesn't matter. Well, this will help people. Do you know the level of trauma sometimes for some people of watching somebody else die? For most people going, the level of mortality that they are faced with every single day, and then going for somebody that they are actively rooting for. So we're talking about the people here who are very positive, of which
on his
directly
side.
Down the middle, 50% of them will love the shit out of him, are going, I am so unhappy. Like, watching someone you care about and are emotionally invested in die
It's really hard.
God.
Not like you don't even need to say that's really hard. Like, watching someone you care about go through hardship is hard. Death is terrible.
No kidding.
Distress. In the crowd, I spot a familiar flash of red hair. Portia and Mazalinka. Her arm around Portia's shoulder. Mazalinka reaches up and puts her hand on Portia's shoulder. Portia leans down and she wraps her arm around her shoulder.
I mean, I could see that, like, cradling in.
Yes.
I'm actually really unhappy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Portia
like,
slouching down to support Mazalinka. Ugh.
Or being supported by Mazalinka, honestly.
Or whatever.
Like, yeah.
A wooden gallows has been hastily built in front of the fountain. Nadia and Julian stand on the platform. All right, so what's going to happen is he's going to get up there. We're going to drop him. 1, it's not going to be long enough because we didn't build it tall enough and his feet will hit the ground. 2, it'll crack and collapse. Anyways, we built it hastily with small wood. What's going to happen is he's going to end up in a pile of matchsticks.
I still want to know how they believe or where the logic came out of going, the plague is going to come back. How do you know? What is the plague about? Did you figure something out? We didn't even talk about where that started or what that's about. What information he has going. The plague will just come back. Compared
Also,
to what?
Nadia, who when Valdemar came up on the stand and talked about the dungeon and their medical activity down there and working with the plague doctors, did not bat an eyelash or mention it since. She knows about the dungeon. Like we argued she should. She clearly knows, and she clearly knows what was going on and was aware of the plague doctors working there. Otherwise, she would have had to interact with that information in some way. And so going, okay, if you hear the plague's coming back, why don't you immediately and go talk to your people?
And go, what the crap?
And go, hey, what research have we been doing in the meantime? I know I have no interest in medical stuff at all and barely speak to you, but tell me what's going on. What do we know? Going, all right, Valdemar, you are fascinated by this. You are completely into this. What have you learned? A hush falls. Dr. Dvorak, any last words?
So here I am, Vesuvia, finally facing justice after all these years.
Okay, so I gotta ask real quick. If he's gonna stand up there and go, yes, I am the killer, and then die and then survive it, if you will, or be punished and then survive it, is he then gonna go, I lied to all of you, I didn't actually kill him?
This is why I also think this plan is very stupid. Like, he set himself up as going, I am the bad guy, but then other people will go, no, see, he was lying. Or I'm like, that's going to cause more unrest than it's going to solve problems.
Right, going, so he's not dead, but he still did it. How does your capital punishment system work? Are people absolved if they survive it?
Well, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. So,
I'm bothered enough, so... Murderer!
Coward! With a flutter of his coat, he flings his arms wide, inviting the boos and jeers.
Condemn me if you like, but first answer me this. Who among you can really say you missed the count, and not just his parties?
Since when are you making political statements?
Oh my god. Well, there was the mild comment that he made about going like, and the count really wasn't liked all that much. Right, but I'm like, we have barely been engaged with that aspect at all, even for ourselves. I would imagine if we'd lived there at the time or knew anything, it's like it would come up in conversation. God, can you remember Count Lucio? He was such a dick 3 years ago.
Additionally, that's different than going, here, let me talk to you about what the political climate of the of this area is and how people feel about him. No one likes him anyways. And going, I'm going to get on a platform and speak to an audience about my political opinion. That is very different.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm just like, it bothers me anyway because there's really no setup for this necessarily.
I am not connected to the setup at all. This feels super weird. The boos die down and murmurs go through the crowd.
What he do for the sick and dying?
I mean, he had apparently a full-on research squad.
Unless he basically helped cause it. Who knows?
Who knows?
Nothing!
I mean, he carted the bodies away and organized plague pits, maybe, or he at least didn't stop us from doing that. And that's really important. If you just let them fester in the street, more people die.
No kidding. When did help come for the flooded district? A place we've never even been to, except, thank you, heart hunters.
Nadia's fine with this. Yeah, I'm like, why do we know about the flooded district? Do we know anything about that?
Never! It was a plague on the city. A frivolous count who threw lavish parties while Vesuvia withered.
In the background, you've got Nadia going, thanks for making me look like an idiot for marrying him. Appreciate it.
And I'm not saying, though, that, like, she possibly also maybe should feel vaguely like an idiot. And also, she might have not had any choice. But just being connected to him. I don't know what the thing is at all. But I'm just going, like, this bothers me because, honestly, you really would, like, people dying in the streets. However, you had riots all the time.
Yeah.
Like, historically speaking, it wasn't just like people were going, oh no, the parties are enough. They really honestly had riots. Like, why do you think everybody loses their shit about Les Miserables? There were also multiple fights in that book, not just one big, huge, bang-out, drawn-out fight.
Also, additionally to all that, did he invite everyone in the city to these lavish, extravagant parties, no matter their station, whether they were a beggar or anything else? Yes! Bring in all the homeless vagrants and dress them nicely for this party. And they're like, well, one day a year, I get beautiful food and a bath and clothing. It's amazing.
Unless also we're literally just talking about the fact that maybe we're having the same problem with our political climate, but I won't go there.
I was going to go, so the idea of everybody was just like, no, the parties are enough. Was everyone included in the parties? Because that would be so disorienting as to be wild.
It's fine.
The crowd roars in response. People raise their fists, shouting in agreement. Are you trying to argue that murder's okay if the person's bad enough? Because that's what it sounds like.
Pretty much, actually. So don't think too unkindly of me, dear Vesuvia. I did it all for you, and I don't regret a thing.
This is not a good setup if you intend to survive this.
This is really actually
just so
terrible
you know.
Setup.
This
Unless
really
it's
is.
going to be one of those things of going, I died a martyr. Look at woe is me. I've done this thing for you and you're going to kill me, but I didn't die. I am your savior. And suddenly people go, what? I'm like, you could turn this on its head real fast.
Also, though, going, like, what does that do for Nadia's justice system and for her rule? The fact that she is being stripped of her power left and right by people undermining her, making choices for her. Like, is she in charge of anything? The guards
I don't know what she
to
does
her.
at all.
I don't either.
But then again, we've mentioned, it doesn't seem like the other characters exist.
In this arc.
Yeah, and I'm honestly gonna guess they won't exist in anybody else's really either. They'll be there sort of as interesting set pieces, and beyond that it'll be like, meh.
I don't know, that sounds wild. I don't regret a thing. Alright.
History will vindicate me.
However, if their climate hasn't improved since then, if they are still having all the problems that I've talked about, like financial troubles, there's this, sort of wreck dystopian of in the aftermath of the plague, there's been no help or support or relief. She's shut down some of their major economic support and, merriment, etc., etc. We'll just assume people like the Colosseum, okay? Otherwise, why would they go unless it's mandatory? And if it's mandatory, why wouldn't we talk about that?
I know! Well, that's the thing I'm going, like, again, I don't feel like characters are really involved in this, and we're not... This is where I'm going, I don't think you're meant to play him first, obviously.
Oh, if not, they should have number. You should unlock them in order.
Be like, we either that or going, we recommend. We have a recommended list for how to play these.
I don't know. I thought they really were all supposed to stand alone. But again, we didn't research this. It's just the fact that they all are unlocked instantly at once. And you meet most of them in the prologue. It sounds like you can choose anything you want. Choose somebody now. Because it really did say just choose your path. Wasn't that the instruction?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I know. But I'm saying, like, you could, though, also have this is our written idea for what we intended. You can choose whoever you want. However, this is the way the story we feel like is best experienced.
He bows theatrically to the crowd. I know it's part of the plan. Do you know it's part of the plan? When did we learn this part of the plan? When did he tell us
It's all
this?
part of the plan that he's going to have a dramatic, rousing speech encouraging Viva la Revolution! And Nadia's going to get murdered in the next 5 minutes.
And Nadia's going to go, thanks. Well, she then gets lynched.
Yep, pretty much.
But
if she is actually what you seem to be trying to say is that she's actually the good person here who's on the,
or
the
is supposed to
upper
stay
crust.
in charge.
Right.
Like, supposed
Why
to. Based on
supposed-
Dread gnaws at my stomach and won't let
Everyone
go.
going, oh, boy.
The executioner approaches Julian, but Julian ignores them, searching the crowd until he spots me.
Hello!
It's okay.
You're so tiny! We shoot!
I stand up on top of some of the base of statuary so he can see me, and I wave. He holds my gaze. I steel my resolve. I don't break eye contact. Everything else seems to fade away. Noises, the jostling crowd, the sun beating down on my shoulders, me hoping I can use some magical thing to help him.
This is called disassociation.
Only one thing matters. Yeah, this is called the fishbowl effect. Everything disappears.
I have experienced that, and it is no fun.
He's going to survive this. He will. He must. Well, they'd have a hard time writing many more chapters if something didn't happen. Wait, the lever? There's no rope around his neck?
Wait, what?
They just put his cloak on him, and then it's gonna.
Oh,
hang
I'm
him.
sorry. Suddenly, that's too graphic. Y'all can go off about Valdemar delighting and torturing people who are still alive, but
But we can't put a rope around his neck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a limit here.
I'm like, how? How is he? He just pulls
That's
the lever,
the hard limit.
and they just get dropped through the floor.
Oh, look, I survived.
It's not death by hanging. What it is death by falling. The platform's actually 1,000 feet tall. They pull the lever, and he falls towards the crowd.
Everyone going, damn, the acoustics in this courtyard are amazing.
Wow, he's up there
Wow.
going, no.
Everyone going, what?
And then he
I look
screams.
at each other. Do you hear what he said?
The executioner pulls the lever. Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
God. I'm just like, he doesn't have a rope around his neck.
Well, that's fascinating ending for, the Valentine's Day rush,
Oh
considering
my
this is the 12th episode we promised. Like, damn.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you to
Wow.
everyone who joined us for the Valentine's Day Rush. We are still finishing this route. This was the intention of sort of like connecting a little bit more with the community, even as we don't connect with the community
at all.
Because
And
we
again,
want to stay blind on this. That way we can have what we assume will be a different perspective. Because for each of us getting in our various fandoms over the many years that we've been doing fandom things, it has been an experience of going, you do get indoctrinated to the outside information without realizing it once you start digging into outside material and information. So it's very interesting to experience a story pure and then see how you feel about it later once you have more information. Even just reading a book after you know why the author wrote it instead of beforehand, or what their inspiration was, can dramatically change your experience. But thank you so much for joining us for this Valentine's Day Rush.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, this has been Scandal.
And I've been Liz.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!